Hi, my name is Felice and I'm the Happy Star Wars Guy. And today's episode, as I mentioned before, I'm going to touch base a little bit and highlight Freedon Nadd's story. Freedon Nadd was a Sith Lord who was in the old Empire, or the old Republic. Freedon Nadd was originally a Jedi apprentice, and he turned to the dark side, and he traveled to Korriban and learned a lot about the Sith. He traveled to Yavin 4, which I don't know if you know this, but Yavin 4, the temple where the rebels are in A New Hope, is actually an old Sith temple that was created by Nagasato. And Freedon Nadd becomes an apprentice of Nagasato's spirit that lives on the planet. And eventually Freedon Nadd, like any good Sith, takes out the Sith spirit and uses his Sith powers to continue to move forward and progress. Now, Freedon Nadd knew that there was a mix between the Force and Sith sorcery, and ultimately used Sith sorcery and the Force to continue to try to live through a king on a planet. And it didn't work because Ulic Qel-Droma, Arik Jeth, and Exar Kun eventually ended up destroying the spirit of Freedon Nadd. However, this is our first glimpse of a Force user trying to live longer than their physical body, which has always been interesting to me because we actually see that also in the Darth Bane series. But not to digress into another conversation, focus on Freedon Nadd. Freedon Nadd, what he really did was inspired Ulic Qel-Droma and Exar Kun to reach out and learn more about the Sith. And eventually Exar Kun learns more about the power of the dark side and ends up turning. So Freedon Nadd's series was really interesting. It was really enjoyable to read. I actually have the comic books, and they're signed by some of the artists that made them. It's a great part of my collection. I'll share it on Instagram so you can check those out. So I hope you enjoyed this series. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and feel free to check out my Instagram, Happy Star Wars. And I couldn't add the S for some odd reason, but I'm the Happy Star Wars Guy, and I'm glad you tuned in for this short little highlight of the Freedon Nadd series. I think it's an important series to highlight in light of the fact that we have Rise of Skywalker, where Emperor Palpatine comes back to life, so to speak, in some kind of shape or form in this decrepit cloned body of the Emperor that can't hold on because the Emperor's in another world. And I wanted to share this video because I wanted people to understand that in the Star Wars lore, it is possible for a Sith Lord to return in some way, shape, or form. And Freedon Nadd is the first story that we ever have in Jedi lore that explains how this happens. So I encourage you to check it out and read more. I don't want to ruin too much, but I feel like I highlighted the storyline pretty well for you. So again, I hope you enjoyed, and tune in again as we continue to explore the expanded universe of Star Wars. May the Force be with you.